Live from Auburn, it's the Newcastle TV Show with your host, Robin Enos, the Portuguese pirate, John Downs, the time traveler. Today's guests are Casey Freelove with KHI AM 950 and Rich Hanner, of the editor of the Auburn Journal. And now, please welcome the Portuguese pirate and the time traveler.
Hello, I'm Robin, the Portuguese pirate, and our announcer, he has a little trouble sometimes, but we got through here. Oh, where's the time traveler? Are you in there?
Are we on? Listen, I'm not quite done with this article here.
What is it?
Horn dog Clint's still dirty, flirty Harry. And this is the National Enquirer.
Oh, well then that's got to be facts.
This is for inquiring minds.
Oh my gosh.
I started buying this when the Auburn Journal quit printing on Monday. And so this is my fill-in on Monday.
Oh, wow, look at Trump and Hillary are related.
Yes, there we go. Are we here? We're on. Oh, we're on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What are we doing now? I mean, we're kind of new at this, right?
Yeah, we're new at this. This is our first show, so we'll get there, guys. Do you want to have a seat, or I want to have a seat?
You know what? I knew this was going to happen. Look at this.
What?
Anybody out there listening, he gets the captain's chair, and I get the little buddy seat.
Yeah, little buddy.
Yeah, it's kind of like Carson.
Sit your little butt down, buddy.
And Ed McMahon and Tonto and the Lone Ranger. Why do I have to be the second banana?
Because we drew straws. Well, I drew straws and you lost.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Is that simple enough?
Yeah.
So, you can dress them up, but you can't take these guys somewhere.
So what are we doing now? Tell them about who we are and what we're doing and why we're here?
Yeah, we're here because, I don't know, why are we here? Well, we have a column in the Auburn Journal, which we're really happy about, really happy with that. We also have a radio show. So we figured since we had the two, why not do the third? So now we have a TV show right here on your community television, Auburn, which is tremendous to have anyway. We cover a lot of topics. We try and have fun. We read the Enquirer. He reads the Enquirer. Hey, that's your paper.
I have to fill in on those blank news days when the journal isn't out there at my beck and call.
Oh, that's what it is.
I do count on the journal for every bit of information I've got.
Okay.
Kissing up already, you notice?
Yeah, I noticed that. So anyway, but I'm Robin. I live in Newcastle. I've been there for a number of years. Have a lot of fun down there. A lot of great things going on in our Newcastle area. We really appreciate everything that we're able to accomplish down in Newcastle and all the folks that help us get through it, and we have fun with them down there. Again, as you can tell by the names of our show, the Newcastle Radio Show and the Newcastle TV Show, that's, like they say, Newcastle is the capital of Auburn. So I think most of you folks know that already, but that's me. My wife and I live in Newcastle. We're happy there, like I say, and we're really excited about this show. We've got a couple of guests today that we're just really happy to have. We have a third wheel, by the way. He's not here tonight, Dennis Noon. He has this, I call it the creeping crud that's going around. It's pretty severe.
That's such a
crude word.
Could you come up with another word? That's like Montezuma's revenge. That's what Carter did.
He has a slight cold.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, all right. He has a slight cold. Okay, fine. Go on with this.
He can't talk.
You know you got something green on your teeth? Do you know that?
Do I?
Yeah.
Well, that's good right here. That's that salad I ate earlier. Sure wasn't wheatgrass. But anyway, welcome to the show. And this should air on Wave TV, 10 p.m. roughly Friday night. So watch for it then, and then it'll be pushed onto YouTube probably the following Wednesday. So we're all new at this show, so we're gonna work through it. We're gonna be on once a week, and we're gonna have new and interesting guests each week. If we don't, then you'll have to listen to me ramble, and
which we already are,
and him sit there and stare at me. So anyway, but I'm gonna let John talk a little bit, tell us who he is, and oh, by the way, he is my neighbor.
Yeah. Well, anyway, as far as I'm looking at I'm looking at the camera. Am I supposed to be looking at the camera?
See, radio, kind of we don't have a camera.
We don't have a camera there. Anyway, yes, good. Actually, I am the time traveler for a very simple reason. I grew up in El Dorado County before Folsom Lake was there. They hadn't invented electricity in a particular part of the world that I lived in, so it was a very 19th century kind of upbringing. No electricity, no neighbors. The house was built in 1862. All my friends were in their 70s, which means they were born before, and I say friends because they're the only ones that came by. We're all born before the airplane ever took off for the first time, so I have their point of view. That's where I came from. That's why they call me the time traveler. Was that succinct enough for you, Pirate?
Yeah, it'll work.
Okay, fine.
You know, you feel good with that?
In a nutshell, that pretty well covers it. I can be, more detailed, but that's enough. What else do we have, since we don't know what we're doing next?
Well, I'm just waiting for your cue. What do you want to do next?
I have no cues. I have no cues.
You have no cues. Okay,
No,
well, I'll tell you what.
One thing I will say is
Yeah,
about
see, there
this.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
We
yeah.
do not ever know what we're going to say next. Neither one of us. That's why we have my attorney, Norris P. Thermidor III. He's waiting in the back room, and Harley Ridgecracker, who is the Pirates attorney. And just in case we've said something outrageous, because we did a half-hour radio show, we're going to be on for another hour. The odds are that we're going to be on for an hour and a half without one of us saying something really stupid are pretty slim.
I would, yeah, I agree with you there. Thank goodness for attorneys. And as long as just the bloody parrot sits here on the table quietly, we're probably going to be okay because he gets wound up, and there's real trouble.
What, didn't we get a box, a shipment in today?
Oh yeah,
Recently?
yeah,
Yes.
somebody said there was something for us.
Yes.
I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Look, what do we got
wow.
here?
Delivery from where?
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Oh, it's from
Lord.
Bollywood.
Oh, look, it must be an award.
Is it already?
It must be Italian.
Wow.
It says Fragile on the front.
Oh, my golly.
Oh,
Look at that.
Just a minute.
Get that stuff out of it. Wait. I think that was our script.
What script?
Oh, there's no script?
Oh, my Lord, look at this.
Look at that.
Oh,
Holy cow.
oh, this is beautiful. I can hang on to this for security, right?
Let me see. What do you think? Does that look like my leg? No. Oh, come on.
Wow.
Well,
Where's it from?
look at there.
No, we don't need a box anymore. We got more.
Congratulations on your new show. We know that you definitely need to be lit up, or are lit up. What are you? Are you lit up, or you need to be lit up?
Keep talking.
And
I'm busy here.
and
I
we
got stuff to do.
we want you to
This is
really appreciate
complicated.
this. Did you read the instructions? Oh, and this is signed.
Attach screw.
Can't really quite make that out. I think it says Commodore
Holmes?
Mike Holmes, maybe?
Commodore, oh, yeah.
Commodore Mike Holmes, that's right.
Yeah.
I think he was the one we
Oh,
were
this is so
enlisting for
nice.
we were going to enlist for the Newcastle Navy, right?
Oh, yeah. How about here?
Holy cow.
We got a new set.
I think we're onto something.
Yeah. Oh,
There-
beautiful. This is
There's our
lovely.
there's our first award, folks.
Yeah.
First award.
And
Can
we
you
haven't been on
imagine?
television yet.
Oh, we're being taped?
Dumbbell.
You guys already started taping this? Holy cow, I blew it.
How do you,
Can we start all over again?
how do you make this go on?
Oh, wow, you're really
Turn on the
educated.
surge protector.
Oh, surge
Here.
protector. Okay,
Here.
somebody's talking. Is that
Here.
God? Is that you?
Here, the instructions are also in your Inquirer. Okay. Wow, look at that.
Ooh.
It really lights up the room.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to strike a match to see
Wait.
if it's on.
Holy, look at that.
Oh, look. Oh, both of them.
I feel
lost
so
my chain.
I
Okay.
feel so Mark Twain now.
All
You
right.
really need to arrange that a little bit better.
Oh,
Yeah. The cat could knock that down. Yep.
good?
Yeah, you got it into 37 different plugs. It should be okay. Perfect.
Oh, there's a pillow. Good. All right.
Oh, does it have your face on it?
That one doesn't, but the other one does. All right.
All righty.
Now-
Well, by golly.
We got our set almost ready. I'll be bringing my statue in tomorrow.
Oh my God, your presence is plenty. We don't need a statue, okay? Holy cow. Look, we even got a gold pan.
Yes, we do.
My golly, we're gonna send,
Very-
anybody got gold they want to donate to this?
Yeah,
that-
actually, we should start reminding people that they can support ACTV because it's a community television. I think they deserve some
Yeah.
support, some attention from the city of Auburn.
Yep, yeah, and if we were able to zoom in back here, it tells you one of the best ways to get a hold of ACTV is right here. It says go to facebook.com/ACTV ACTV. If you'd like to donate something, they would love it. You know, they work on a shoestring. They do a great job. Oh, look, we even have a tip jar.
Oh, my Lord.
Tip jar already.
That's,
oh, wow.
that's a class act right there. No, just put the, no, dummy.
This is worth $1.
Yeah, here.
Oh, there you go. That
There.
works even better. There you go. That's it.
I'll
Save
try
the
that.
plastic, right?
Yeah, I tried that out in front of K-High the other day.
I know, last time you took the money, though.
Yeah, well.
You're supposed to donate it,
Just before I
okay?
got busted for panhandling.
Yeah, see, that's why
Okay.
you have an attorney.
Are we done talking now?
Probably so.
Yeah, good. Do we have a guest?
Yeah, we do. He's probably in our green room asleep by now, but,
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. We have to talk to the camera.
oh yeah, we're going to get used to this talk to the camera thing. Isn't that like this? Talk to the hand?
Oh, listen, if I look at my face over there, it'll tell me where I'm looking.
Oh,
Oh,
wow, look at that.
good Lord, look at the technology here.
Congratulations.
So just sit there and stare.
You know,
straight
we
ahead.
got wisecracker remarks from the booth over there. Who is that kid?
I don't know. He's scary, though.
Yeah, scary.
He's smarter than both of us. That's
yeah,
what freaks
that's
me
what
out.
scares me. I don't like that. Okay,
Well,
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
tell
go
you
get
what.
our guest.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's clean up the, well, let's have our guest
No,
clean up the
let
mess.
him kick his way through. He's a newspaper man. He's used to kicking his way through garbage.
Yeah, but he said he's not insured.
Oh, I'm not sure.
All right.
You want to announce him?
Very good.
Rich Hanner,
Hey.
Auburn Journal editor.
Hey,
Glad
everybody.
you make it.
Great to be here.
It took us a while to figure out who we wanted to torture first. You again drew the short
Sorry,
straw.
the
So
first
I get to
victim,
do the eight
Good to see you.
I
Pleasure.
get to do the
Pleasure,
Eggman
Robin.
man seat. I'm now downgraded
good to be
that
here.
seat
So
down.
I'm
Get
gonna
down
be-
here, Ed.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm over here, huh?
Really?
Great. Very good. Good to be with you guys.
I'm losing my mic already. Boy, all these technology.
Okay, talk to the camera.
Okay, talk to the camera.
To the camera.
He's over
Camera.
there now.
Now you look at that one over there
Okay.
and tell you where you're looking.
My neck is getting sore already from this. This is crazy.
We're learning, we're learning.
You're doing great, guys.
It's a new
Off to a great
experience,
start.
folks. New experience.
Oh my goodness. All righty. So, Rich, I mean, we're going to get right into it. Who's Rich
right.
Hanner? Where'd you come from?
Oh, you know, I came from
Tell
right
me-
here.
Tell me you're an alien, okay?
I didn't come from Jupiter or Mars.
Okay.
I did come from Loomis.
Oh,
I grew up in Loomis, went to Delaro High School, ran a little track, played a little bit of football.
you're the
Here,
real
Jack
local guy.
Sanchez was your coach or
Oh,
something.
he was. A great guy.
that's your
Wonderful
opinion.
coach.
And I'm sure Jack shares that opinion.
Yes, no doubt. Scholar and a gentleman. Ran a little track, played a little football. Really enjoyed my classes in social studies, English. My family enjoyed magazines and newspapers. We used to go up on Sunday to a little place called the Log Store. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, that's
Auburn,
right.
absolutely.
Auburn Folsom
Auburn
Road.
Folsom Road.
It is gone now.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
gone.
That was
gone.
heartbreaking to
But-
see that go down.
Yeah, but not forgotten.
No.
And we go up there on Sunday, and we get the Sunday Chronicle, and bring it on back, and the whole family would enjoy reading the paper. And we also read the Loomis News, and the Roseville Press Tribune, and the Sacramento Bee. So you know, our household was pretty well full of reading material,
Wow.
and I loved reading. And got to Sierra College, and I worked for the little paper there called the Nugget. I'm not sure the Nugget's there anymore. But a great student publication there at Sierra College. I kind of got hooked. I really loved journalism. Did one story, my first story was about the new basketball coach. And of course the story comes out in the Nugget, and I'm pretty darn excited. I got my first byline. But an hour later I get a call from the basketball coach who said, "You misspelled my name." So, you know, that's kind of the agony, the ecstasy of journalism.
That's a memorable start, though.
It was, and it kind of really drilled into me.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful with names,
Yeah.
and you got to be careful with that stuff. So I had a great time at Sierra. Again, I got to run a little bit of track with a great bunch of folks, and then down to SF State and majored in journalism, worked for the student paper there, and then down to Stanford, got my master's in communications, got my first job at the Palo Alto Times, and covered everything that moved, everything from folks who'd traveled to Cuba and came back and wanted to talk about meeting Fidel Castro, to city council meetings, to crime, environmental affairs. It was a great beginning.
You know, you mentioned Palo Alto and environmental affairs. I'm surprised that I never talked to you because when I lived in Palo Alto, I worked for a company called Stiegel Dotson. They were the open road motorhome franchise.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we putted down the street working on a motorhome, and it started to sputter. So we pulled over and go, oh, there's water in the gas. So we got down there and opened the gas valve and drained the gas
All right.
into the storm drain.
Oh, yeah. I remember the environmental disaster that you
my
created.
gosh.
In
Yeah.
fact, I think we did a series of stories on that, didn't we, Rob?
Well, I'll tell you what, the 3 fire trucks will remember that one, and the 2 sheriffs that came by for it, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, I didn't realize you had a Palo Alto connection. But,
Yeah.
worked there at the Palo Alto Times. It got purchased by the Tribune Corporation of Chicago. And unfortunately, they tried to blend the Palo Alto Times with the Redwood City Tribune and turn it into something called the Peninsula Times Tribune. And it lost some of that local connection. And the Peninsula Times Tribune lasted a number of years, but ultimately they sold it for the real estate in downtown Palo Alto. And unfortunately, that paper is no longer there.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Anyway, Palo Alto came up to McClatchy, worked for the neighbors section there, Carmichael, Arcade, Fair Oaks area, and then down to the Stockton Record. Did a little bit of investigative work down there on prisons, group homes, water, pollution, some of those environmental issues continued. And from there I went to the Lodi News-Sentinel. And I was the editor there for 17 years.
Wow.
I had a great run at a family-owned paper. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The paper got sold. New owners, just, you know, still good, but a little different. And I thought maybe it wouldn't be bad to come back home. And I've known Bill Brehm a little bit through different organizations. And he said, come on up, let's talk. And we did. And so I'm back in Placer County after all these years, Robin.
And enjoying it?
And I am. It's great to rediscover the county and connect with some friends and acquaintances and make new friends and acquaintances. So it is. It's been an eventful several months now.
Well, just bet it has.
It has been eventful and very busy, but things are going in a good direction.
That's a good thing.
We're finally kind of back up to full staff. Got a new reporter, features editor, page designer. So I think we're going to be able to get back to some really good local news. Not that we abandoned that, but there was a time when the staffing was down a little bit for a few months, and now we're kind of back up to snuff.
And guess what? I get to redo my screed that I always go give to everybody. You're familiar with it by now, but I get to put it on television now. I think that newspapers don't have the strength they used to have because of the times. But I think a community newspaper has a lot of potential and should be able to do well, especially a community newspaper. And what we have here is we have a community television, which if we can pull all these little things together, the television, our column, your newspaper, our radio station, pull all these things together and work together. But I've suggested a lot of times that the Journal, not that I'm saying they're doing anything wrong, but it's a small town community, and I've often felt what happens is a lot of times people don't get what they want in the paper, and they say, well, they didn't report my stuff. Well, I've told more than one of them, then you need to get your fat hiney down there and give it to them, because the days are gone when you could have some guy with a little press badge running around getting reports. There's not that much money in newspapers anymore. You can't afford to do it. That's a simple fact. But if people could understand that, and you could get everybody together, the community and the newspaper, and say, okay, the newspaper says to the community, what can we do to become a better newspaper? But the community conversely has to come back and say, okay, what can we do to help you get the news out? Because people,
John,
I've told them before, they
Yeah.
They want to take the easy way out. They might email or they might say nothing. I says, no, I go down and I kick the desk, as you well know.
It's a really good point, and newspapers are evolving, and there are financial challenges. I think the Auburn Journal is unusual, and we still have a lot of strength. We still have a lot of circulation. And I tell you guys,
And they're selling a lot of advertising now too, which is important. Without the advertising, the rest of it doesn't matter.
That's so true. The best defense of the First Amendment is profitability. And we're still pulling in the advertising. trying to be the best local paper we can be. One of the challenges is, you know, being a news guy or a journalist is pretty easy. You just have to be all things to all people, you know, and that can be a challenge.
And you're going to check off half of them every time.
Well, yeah, it's hard to please everybody, that's for sure. Right. But you point out something that's really key, and that is we don't have the resources to cover everything all the time. And so if folks want to have something in the paper, the phrase in the industry is user-generated content. User-generated content. And we're very open to a story, press release, letter to the editor, guest column, photos. We really rely on the community to
That's
come
what drive
into
by
the
throw
paper.
rocks at the windows. That works for me.
User-generated content. Here's a rock. You know, it's key because we have retracted as an industry, and so we do have to rely on readership to provide content they feel is important, and we're always trying to reinvent depending on what is important in the community. So, you know, bringing the community into the paper and the paper out in the community is very key. So, fair point. Letters, columns, probably no rocks, John, if that's okay. But it's a very good perspective.
Well, that's my style. You know, not that many people engage in that.
I understand.
Don't worry too much. Don't worry too much about the rocks. He throws like a girl.
Hey, it's a second-story newsroom. You got to have a pretty good arm to get it up there.
Like this?
Well, the thing is, you know, with John and I, we're not shy about bringing information on. I mean, I'll send you an email and say, hey, there's a, you know, like our fire board, there's a fire board meeting tonight, or hey, this happened down there, or, you know, this logging truck rolled over. So we'll send that to you. We'll try and get it to you, and
Yes.
maybe you might already know about it, maybe you don't. But what it does is it brings that stuff home. And
Absolutely.
again, it is a community newspaper. And the one thing I like about the Journal is I don't see where it, I was talking to my wife, and I said, well, so do you think it's a liberal newspaper? Is it conservative? Is it this, it that? And she goes, well, you know, it doesn't really seem to fit into any of those. It just seems to have its own little life, and it just kind of putts along and does a good job at it. And I think that's what I like about it.
Well, you're right. We're a community newspaper. We don't run what we call much wire. Very little AP. We have local news. We do pick up some news from the other weeklies that we publish under Gold Country Media, but we try to keep it as local or maybe a little bit regional as possible. You don't see a lot of news out of Sacramento, LA, New York, Paris, London. Our focus, we know this, our bread and butter is Placer County. It's Auburn. And so we try to just jam as much local news in there as we can. And we're always trying to find more news, trying to refine it. You know, part of it is the quantity of news and part of it's the quality. And I think with the staffing kind of coming up again, we can focus on maybe some in-depth reporting, some enterprise reporting that we haven't been able to get to since I've been here. And I'd sure like to rekindle that a little bit.
Yeah, you got to have bodies for that. But yeah, it's all there. And the nice thing again is, like John and I, you know, we're what you call guest columnists, and you have a number of those from the local area, which is really neat because you get a different perspective and different stories, and
Absolutely.
and which really makes it quite interesting. And plus, the other thing I like is you do a history in there sometimes. You know, on this date in that year, this happened, or you know, like Gus is doing a thing about Auburn. Did you know this about Auburn? Or
Yes.
the other day it was like, you know, here's 5 different Auburns from Auburn, Massachusetts to this thing, and that's kind of neat. You're bringing something different a lot.
Well, it's local, it's indelible.
Yeah.
And you guys are indelible. Your column is absolutely unique. It is, I've never read anything quite like it. So it's humor, but you always put in the local information. That's key. I would tell you, I've worked in a number of papers. I have never seen a newsroom that has more letters to the editor or more interest in local columns. People want to be part of the paper, and that's a great thing. It reflects Auburn.
The trick to writing a column is make sure everybody gets their name in it once in a while. Because
yes.
the fact of the matter is, you read a column first to see if your name's in it. If it's not, you scan it again to see if anybody's name in it that you know. And failing in that, then you might read the rest of it. But people look to see if their name's in the paper. People love that kind of stuff.
Names make the news.
Yeah, which makes it nice is when when you blacken the names, they're bold faced, so people can scan it even faster to make sure. Now I don't want to read that one. On to the next one.
Our column, though, people have told me they were sorry that it was over. They really, literally. Frank, Dan, what's his name? You know.
Oh yeah, Dan.
Ding Dong. Anyway.
Oh, Ding Dong Dan.
Oh, I got to apologize
3D
to somebody
Dan.
again.
Ding Dong Dan, all right.
Anyway, Vance.
He's lost again.
Yeah, I'm like, hello, where am I? Why am I
Okay,
here?
yeah.
You're traveling in time. That's
Yes,
okay.
I
We'll bring
am.
you back.
Yeah.
Vance said he was sorry that it was over last time. He wanted, hoping that there was another page in there somewhere. So I think we're doing okay.
Well, and I think what we're starting to do now too is we're starting to kind of link the columns together by
Kind of like Perils of Pauline.
Yeah.
What
and-
happens next?
Yeah, and so it's our biggest problem with the column though is there's one individual in that column that is just a thorn in our butts, and it's.
That.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think he heard us, but it's that
the,
bloody parrot.
Okay.
Oh, this thing is just a nuisance. Anyway, we'll get to that another day. But one of the things I wanted to say we're really proud in Newcastle of, and you've done this in the Auburn and Colfax and Roseville, but we managed to get Greg and Rebecca and the rest of the Journal to get on board because they're going, well, there's not a lot there in Newcastle. So we linked the three communities, Ophir, Newcastle, Penryn.
Up.
And this magazine has just been absolutely accepted in such ways we just couldn't even imagine it. And I think this year for the 2016, we've got a lot of people already saying they want to get on board. And this year it's Susie Moore and Hurst and Jeremy, I believe. They're all working on it. So we're really looking forward to it. The sad part about it is they missed this when they did this. This was supposed to be the front page. I don't know how they missed that part is beyond me. It's crazy.
What's this? We're not supposed to say that we know anybody's out there, right?
Oh, cue card. Don't say, hey, there's a cue card.
Oh, was that a cue card?
Yeah, it wasn't a cucumber.
30 minutes. Okay.
So anyway, but
yeah.
this is a great magazine. It's got history, it's got ads, it's really, really well done. So anybody out there that wants to get involved in the Discover magazine, get a hold of Rich or somebody at the Journal, and believe me, it's just a wonderful magazine.
This one's good. Next one's going to be huge.
Oh yeah, the next one's going to be even better. They'll be starting on that soon.
Just a quick note on these. These are coordinated by the advertising department. Jeremy is really the coordinator, does quite a job with these. So Jeremy Burke is really a great source if you want to advertise in those. And they look great, don't they?
Yeah, they are. They were. So if somebody wanted to call Jeremy or the Journal to find out information about the Journal, to run an ad in this, run an ad in general, they got a story they want to tell.
Absolutely.
Who do they call? What number?
Well, that's a good point. They would, email is a good way to go, frankly.
Okay.
And email to me, email to Jeremy. I'll tell you what, I can share. Maybe I can share those contacts with you later. We can put them up somehow.
Yeah, we might be able to post them on
Okay.
the end
That would be
credits.
great.
Yeah.
Because there are different, different editors, different folks in the paper who would take different kinds of content.
We're going to put that in the next column and on the radio show, too.
Yeah.
There we go. Great idea.
Yeah.
So this is an example too of how newspaper companies are trying to evolve. We have to find new ways of bringing in revenue. The last paper I worked for, we had a pretty good connection with Hearst, and we actually did real estate sections for the San Francisco Chronicle in Lodi, California, and also did real estate sections for Hearst papers in Connecticut, right in Lodi.
Oh
and
my
we had
goodness.
freelance writers. I mean, you can do pretty much anything with a phone and a computer now. And so we had the freelancers providing content. We paginated it. It was a little bit complex. We worked it out, and a way to make money. And the magazines, I think, are another example of how the Gold Country media has evolved and tried to embrace new markets and new possibilities.
Yeah. Very
Because
good.
we can't sit still in this market. We've
No,
always got to
you
keep
can't.
moving.
No, media is huge. Everybody's dialed into it, whether it's actually on the TV, the radio, the internet, however how it is. I mean, people want information.
It is, and you pointed out with the radio show, with the newspaper column, you guys are local. And I think there's still a thirst and a hunger for local content provided by local people.
Right.
It's still very powerful. The other thing I was going to mention, along with the guest columns, the letters of the editor are amazing here, and we just have them tumbling in. And in fact, yesterday we had to blow up a whole page and just publish the letters to catch up a little bit.
I saw that.
And I think it reflects. Maybe I sound a little like the Chamber of Commerce, but I think it reflects Auburn.
Yeah.
It's a town, and Newcastle, of course. This area cares deeply about the community, about the people, the institutions. I think that shows in the strength of the Auburn Journal. For a paper and for a community our size, we still have very good circulation here. And I think some of it's that people work hard to put out a paper and a quality paper. part of it's this community just cares about itself so much, and they want to read about other folks, intergenerational families who are so connected. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Coming back and rediscovering Auburn, I didn't realize it had this magnetism of civic involvement. It really is unique.
Auburn's really great at it.
Yeah.
I will give them that.
Yep.
They're not quite as good as Newcastle,
Well,
but
they have different ways to get involved too, and one day we'll cover that, the meddlers and what have you. But
yes,
yeah, it's really happy with the paper. I mean, some are happy, some are not. It depends on what day of the week they read the paper.
well,
yeah,
human nature
as long as
being,
you're reading the paper.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Human nature being what it is, you can go on to the Idlewites on Tuesday or Thursday, whatever day it was, and you hear, what? The journal's going left wing here. There's 3 letters here. They're all lefties. And then we go the next day. What is this? Has gone Donald Trump conservative? What? You can't. You're never going to get it. They're not going to be happy, but they'll read it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they're reading, and even when we get those calls from people who are not happy, and people can be pretty unhappy with the paper. Maybe something we put in or didn't put in. It shows that they care. And that's why I try to tell the staff too. You get your ears burned a little bit, but it shows they care about the paper. We're still relevant. And the day that phone stops ringing is when we lose our relevancy. Yeah. So I love the community involvement, the feedback, the phone calls, good, bad, or indifferent. And the stuff that's not positive, that informs where we need to go. Well, and maybe how we need to get better.
It's just part of what it is. But I noticed Tricia has dropped her hyphenated last name.
She has. Yep, Tricia Caspers.
Yeah, I noticed that because when she first got hired, I wanted to introduce myself. I like to know who everybody's working in the paper, and we had a talk. I have a sense of humor that's a little warped, and I says, "Listen, I really appreciate knowing you, but I have an issue with ladies who have hyphenated last names. It shows me a lack of conviction to the past or to the future, and that's a little bothersome for me." Well, anyway, a couple of days later, she wrote a column about. I guess apparently several people had talked to her about. That to her. Of course, now, mine is an old world view. You understand?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So not that many people hold it anymore.
Well, Tricia is terrific. She is an outstanding poet. She's a fine writer. She's a great reporter.
And she doesn't have a hyphenated last name now, so that's okay.
Well, at least not that she's put in the paper, John. But she's she reflects the staff, which is really strong. And you mentioned Gus. Gus is just so encyclopedic about Auburn. And the information, the history, the background. And he's got this wonderful intellect that can make connections. So, that column, Media Life by Gus Thompson, to me, it's a bit of a wonder. Every week how he puts that together and makes it readable and makes it relevant. Tricia, sensitive writer, great column, but also just a good, solid news reporter. So lucky to have her. We've got wonderful page designers. Ike Dodson, our sports editor, is terrific. I've got a young reporter just joined us, Michael Mott, and Michael's off to a great start. Yeah, Michael Mott is doing quite well. Very pleased with him. Everybody on the staff, I mean, they're pushing hard to do a great job. Carol Guild has joined us as our features editor. She's doing a fine job too.
Where did Carol come from?
Carol had been an editor up in Grass Valley. Okay. And she took a hiatus, and when we had the opening, we were lucky to have her join us. So she's aboard. We've got good page designers, good writers, good editors, and we have a couple of fine freelance photographers who contribute frequently to us, Kim Palaferri, Michael Kirby. So there's a lot of talent, I believe. And part of my job is just to try to get talent in and step back and let it thrive.
Let it go. And that's the sign of a good manager, editor in your case is you got good people. Let them do their thing.
That's the way I feel.
Yeah. You don't want to stifle them.
No, you want to attract talent and retain talent, and just let it go. Give it opportunity, and give them feedback, and let it flourish. Yep. Oh, that's my hope.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Well, we appreciate that, and from the Auburn Journal. It's good to hear that insight, but we're going to move along here. That we have another part of the media.
He doesn't have to leave.
No, he could sit right here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you don't have to leave. You'd like to sit here.
I get to sit further down the seat, just like Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
or you can. I mean, that's fine.
I feel like doing an Alpo commercial now.
But our next guest is from K-High Radio, AM 950, Voice of the Foothill, and it's Casey Freelove. and we're glad he came down. Here he comes.
Was there
down
enough
the
room in there for you?
Yeah, just barely. We made it. Yeah, no problem.
Did you find the papers?
Sure. Yes. Yes, I did.
Did you leave his Inquirer alone, though? He's real
No, the
touchy
Inquirer
about
I got
that.
right here.
You know, Rich Hanner?
Hi, Casey.
Casey
Hi.
Freelove.
Very good to meet you.
Ignore the paper.
Welcome.
We had a opening of
It's
our
one of his bits, right?
our leg lamp.
Where do you
I'll
want me?
sit
Right
down
next to
here.
you?
Have a seat.
Nice and cozy.
Yeah.
You two guys can talk news now. I'm going to shut up.
Good to see you.
Traveler, good to see you.
Yes.
Is it John when we're on the television? I can't remember.
Well, you call me whatever you. No, I didn't like what you called me this morning.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
okay, that's fine.
Oh, I thought that was rather fitting. I mean,
Well, you and Mary Jane Pop.
Well, I have to clean up his fires every time he leaves. It seems
Oh,
like
my-
over there.
yeah,
Okay, hi. Thanks
yeah.
for having me.
But I'm sorry I spilled coffee on your console there. Sorry about that.
yeah. Oh, that's what all that popping is. We were leaving, going, and you kept saying, "Hurry up, get out the door, get out the door."
Well, that'll put the onus on us to get new equipment. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Oh no, you don't need new equipment down here, do you?
No. From the guys who were there once a week, you would know, right?
That's all it takes. Well, we're glad you're here, and you know, just like with Rich, give us a little background of who Casey is and how you ended up in the Auburn area and at K-High, and kind of what your background is in
Sure.
the media.
First, thank you for having me on. I appreciate being a part of this. It's a great thing that you guys are doing, and I enjoy producing your show weekly on K-High. You guys are two of the most fun individuals I've met since I've been working up in the Auburn area. I'll definitely give you that. And
Okay,
this guy especially keeps it lively around the office, as I mentioned. Myself personally, born in Folsom. I went to Oakmont High School in Roseville, graduated back in the mid-'90s. Kind of cut my teeth on radio with KHDK in Sacramento, which is the Kings affiliate, as an intern. And then I went on to college at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, where I got my degree in broadcast journalism. And I was very fortunate when I got there because of the work I'd done at KHDK with the Kings that I was able to get right on and start getting on the air pretty quickly. I've always wanted to do it since I was a little kid. I harken back to my dad driving me to school and listening to one of my coworkers on the radio, Mary Jane Pop on KFBK.
Is that right?
That's kind of the inspiration that got me interested in talk
All right.
radio at the beginning. So basically finished up my degree and kind of worked my way up the ranks from a weekend producer to an on-air host. I hosted a sports talk show down there for about 5 years on CBS Radio. And then on the weekends, did for a couple years a show with Jerry Tarkanian, who of course is the legendary UNLV coach.
Yes.
Great guy and just a wealth of basketball knowledge. And you know me, I'm a sports guy.
Oh yeah, you are.
Excuse me, we got along very well. After that, took a little time off from radio, was working in the financial services industry, and basically just realized that my heart wasn't in that. My heart's always been in radio. It's more of a calling than a want of money or a want of fame or anything like that. It's just you either enjoy doing that or you don't. You kind of see that. You guys learn quickly. You
Oh yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And basically moved back up here, and Jerry Henry was nice enough to hire me. I was actually kind of fortunate. Let me tell you a quick side story. Our old sales guy, his name is Mike Ramey, he used to work there. He was the guy that hired me for my first internship at KHTK back in the late 90s. I walk in for my interview on the first day. Guess who's sitting next to Jerry Henry? Mike Ramey. Small world.
Oh, I would say so.
Got back in at KHTK, and I've just kind of been moving around. I was the morning guy. I've always been an on-air host. I currently host the K-High Afternoon News weekdays from 4 to 6. I also do all the sports reports and commercial production for the station, which is another aspect of the job I enjoy very much. And then since we are here at Placer High School, I'm very fortunate to call myself the play-by-play football voice of the Placer Hillmen for this past season, along with my broadcast partner, Dave Rosenthal. These boys had one of the great seasons in school history. I really love the passion that the Auburn people bring, especially the Hillman faithful. They showed up at home, they showed up on the road, and gave me a big kick being up there in the booth and bringing the game to them. And one thing I'll mention about Auburn compared to other areas where I've broadcasted, you can be very anonymous when you live in Las Vegas. When you're in Auburn, if you do a good job or a bad job, people are going to come up and tell you about it.
Yes.
And I really enjoy that, criticism or not. It's nice to have people say, hey, you guys are really doing a good job. It's a little different than it sounded in the past, but I'm enjoying that. And that really kind of sparks me to want to do a better job. And there's nothing I'd rather do with 3 hours of my life than call a football game, as you know.
And you do a great job. I've listened to some of your things with you and Dave, and it's truly a calling because you're very good at it. And I've seen you in the station getting ready for it. You're going, okay, I got to know these things and this and that, and you're ready for it. You're not just going out there like, Time Traveler and I, we just walk on the stage and go, okay, well, whatever happens is going to happen.
Yes.
You're ready. You know your sports, and that's why we've had Casey here. Is we're wanting him to bring a little sports to our show once a week, whether it's 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it is, but some kind of a neat sports story or whatever, local or
I
otherwise.
figure we'll mix it up. We'll get a little Hillman
Yeah.
in there, maybe branch out to the foothills,
Yeah.
of course, Sacramento area, and then we've always got news from the Bay Area with sports as
and
well.
I think isn't there a sports story in the Enquirer once a week too, or something, or no?
Well, no, this would be the Dirty Harry running off with a new waitress. That's the sports.
Oh, okay, so that's like a track thing, running off.
Yeah, and then we
Oh,
got
okay.
the Kardashians, but
Yeah. Okay, so there's no real sports in that one, so we're out on that deal.
Right. It's still in print. There we go.
Yeah,
Thank you, Travis.
well, yeah, it's because of him.
Him and people in line at grocery stores across the United States. I
Yes.
you know, the girls in the
Exactly.
store, when I go to Walmart, it's the same thing. I always pick a new guy, you know, standing there, and I'll pick up this magazine, and he'll look at me and I'll say, "It's for my mother, all right?" And one of the checkers will say, "Your mother has been dead for 10 years." So we're all
They all know. They all know. So, so you have the sports, but you do the afternoon news, and I mean, you pretty much you fill in wherever needed. What I've seen, if somebody leaves or is on vacation, you know, we can come in here sometimes, and Casey, he's just sweating. He goes, "I got all this to do. I got to get this," and then he has to, you know, babysit John and I.
Well, that's the easy part of the job. But, you know, one thing I've learned, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Radio's, you know, had a bit of a rough stretch since probably the mid-2000s. It's still out there, and in my opinion, a very viable medium. I'm able to reach people every day, which is one of the things that really gets me passionate about being behind the microphone. But you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to be able to do a little bit of everything, and I pride myself on being able to do that. And when I got there, I wasn't, you know, as skilled as I've become in it, but producing shows like yours and having a chance to do a little commercials on the side. And then, of course, hosting the News Daily is nice as well, because I do get to speak with local Auburn guests and things of that sort.
Well, you even have do was it a weekly or a daily show with McClintock?
Oh yeah, we have you know, various members of political office on. Congressman McClintock joins us every Wednesday at 4:30. In fact, I just spoke to him before I came over here, and another impassioned talk. You know, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, I think it's important that we hear from the people that are supposed to be representing our best interests. And one thing about Tom, him and I share a very deep passion about the water in California. The drought is probably my #1 hot button issue as a member of the media. Growing up about 5 minutes from Folsom Lake, I have countless childhood and especially teenage memories out there. So it's very, you know, it's something that kind of sparks passion in me, and that in turn helps make, I hope at least, a better interview.
Yeah. Well, you know, those are all good things to know. And again, I always like it when somebody like Tim's on and you interview that, because you do, like you say, you get some good in-depth stuff from a politician that, you know, represents us in this area and what's going on. Because a lot of them don't go on the radio. You know, all you hear is a news blurb or, you know, something in the newspaper. But, you know, it's nice when you can do the question back and forth.
Well, and I would also probably echo some of the sentiments of the Journal in that if you want to speak to somebody up here, you can contact them. People are accessible. I find Auburn to be a very friendly community. I'm not afraid to go up and say hello to somebody, or especially have new guests in, you know. Spoke with the Placer County Transportation Agency representative yesterday. Could not have been kinder. Her and I were on the same page in terms of potholes to freeway expansion, and that sales tax will perhaps come up in November. We'll hold off on that because that still has to go through a June vote, but there's always so many interesting things going on, and you can kind of pick it. I mean, Auburn is really in a unique area where we've got, you know, metropolitan Sacramento just down the road, but we're also, you know, on the way up to Reno and Nevada. So you got your mix of rural folks, your kind of suburban, urban folks, and it kind of all melts together in a nice little pot.
Auburn is one of the few towns that has a members meeting every Tuesday morning, where there's 2 supervisors usually and part of the city council, so they're not violating the Brown Act. But anyway, there's enough people that you can talk to, and I think Auburn is one of the few towns that is that accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
And we, between the Journal and the radio show and ACTV, why we should, I'd really love to see the 3 medias kind of get together and work hand in glove. We tried that at we did it at the the celebration.
Yeah, May celebration last year.
We had all the medias there at different booths, and it was kind of nice because nobody threw rocks at anybody. Well, there was never mind. But
Well, you make a good point, and this is the beginning, right, of trying to multimedia.
Right.
Try to fuse it, try to leverage it, and
make money out of it somehow or another.
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea is to get revenue at some point, but a couple really quick takeaways too. Casey was talking about versatility, and that's so key in our industry too. In news, everybody's got to do everything. You got to be able to take photos, you got to be able to write, you got to be able to edit. Video now is important. So versatility, for anybody who's interested in a career in the media, Versatility is pretty key, at least from my perspective, Casey. It sounds like you really just personify that with everything you do. So versatility in terms of media studies, media career, very important. You mentioned meddlers, and John, I was struck because I got to go and speak to meddlers a few weeks ago. And what a unique forum where people come together and they don't have to get up at a lectern and feel like they're overwhelmed by people who are,
very
up,
relaxed.
up on the dais, very relaxed. You can speak your piece. You can raise an issue in a very informal atmosphere, but also people are there to listen and act. That's unique too. That's I think another unique facet of Auburn.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of questions float around that room.
That's
Whoever
for
the guest speaker is, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, and if you want to run for anything, you want to go do your first speech at the Mellors. If you survive that, you got a chance of winning something, because they do know their stuff.
They do, yeah. And they ask some pretty blunt questions.
That they do.
But it's also very respectful. And I have never attended a forum quite like Meddlers.
It's unique.
Well, there is a little sarcasm.
Well, I would have to also agree with your sentiment. I mean, for the youngsters that are out there, I mean, don't kid yourself. Media is as popular as it's ever been. There may have been a few setbacks in different specific areas of the medium, but it's not going nowhere. It still plays an important role. Just pick and choose your station you want to work at, or your newspaper you want to write for, very delicately, and go in there and learn every single thing you can. I mean, don't be afraid to go out there and try and get an internship as soon as you get into college, because it's going to do nothing but benefit you and get your face out there. Even if you feel that you're working for free, in the long run, if you want to work in this medium, I have rarely met somebody who just came out of college with a broadcast journalism degree and was just hired up by a station because they had a piece of paper and said they knew how to do it. You got to get out there and you have to do it.
Yeah.
Internships are key. And in TV, radio, newspapers, internships give you a chance to connect, to see what the real world is like, to get mentored, and to really start developing that breadth of skills you're going to need if you're going to progress to a career in the media. So for those students out there, be aggressive, reach out. Somebody somewhere will give you a shot. But also once you get in the shop, once you get in the newsroom, be aggressive. Ask questions. Don't be that sort of a wallflower in the corner. You got to get up, say, hey, I'd love to learn this. Please help me. Please mentor me. And I tell you, I've hired a lot of interns who end up being full-time staff, writers, reporters, editors, or move on. But with that internship, they have a great advantage. They've got a great line on the resume, and it can really catapult people in their careers. So, good point. Internships can be quite key in this industry.
And really, the youngsters reignite us when they start asking us those
Don't they, though?
questions, because they brush you up on skills. We're like, oh yeah, I've not done that for a while either. Let's get in there together and get us both in tune.
Yeah, it's always nice to have somebody come to you and ask all the questions, and you're going, oh yeah, I can help you there. And as long as you're good at guiding them and getting them involved, yeah, that's great. I mean,
and I think anyone who is still working in this, I've been doing this for 15 plus years. If you're fortunate enough to be able to do it, then you did have a few mentors along the way, or some people who gave you some breaks, or at the very least some tips on how to go about doing it, because we've got Google and we've got every YouTube video on to learn how to do something, but the only way to broadcast or learn how to become a skilled writer is to go out there and do it. You two have learned the hard way, right? You've gotten better week by week. Especially that one where you mentioned me last week. That was a very good call. I love that.
Well, yeah, it's because you're in it. I know how to write a column, get people interested. Oh, I'm in it.
Yeah, we make the news, right?
We
the
like
news.
Just like you said earlier, we like to throw them names in there. But you've come a long ways. I mean, you've been a lot of different places, and each place you've been, you've learned something new. And it may not be your passion is sports, but you're willing to do this part of the news because it goes along with it, and it's all because you've learned that along the way. You haven't said, no, I don't do that. I have to do this only. So it's nice when you hear that both sides. You guys are your people are open to learn anything.
Absolutely.
To just keep moving up.
And I think anybody who works in that style, whatever media you work in, regardless, podcast all the way to blog to working on air, you have to be, kind of a curious natured person. I mean, we're all here I'm interested in things and people, and I majored in communications because I enjoy speaking to people. I enjoy meeting new people, and especially learning things about people. And for example, up here, I mean, I don't live in Auburn, but every day I have a guest in, I learn something new about Auburn, and I spend time up here outside of work. I don't want to make it sound like I just bolt back down the hill, but it is very fascinating to me still, every year or every week, every day, to be able to meet somebody and learn something new, and it makes you a better person.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever learn everything.
No, you sure can't.
When you're green, you're grown, and when you're ripe, you're rotten. That's the way it works.
That's what I smell down there, rotten. So is there any?
that was a profundity you obviously missed.
Well, that's right, but I was close.
Move on.
Move on. Any good stories?
Yeah, I thought I'll bring one out. Let me get my notes. I apologize for having to use notes, but
That's all
I was working up until 5 minutes before I walked in
Yeah,
here. So.
nobody uses notes around here.
An interesting story because we want to do some stories, and this one is national news. Well, a certain hotel chain, we'll leave that off here so we avoid any potential
shucks.
issues, but they apologized yesterday after Cleveland Cavaliers guard Kyrie Irving said he was bitten by bed bugs during a weekend stay in Oklahoma City when the Cavaliers were playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kyrie Irving, of course, the star point guard and sidekick to LeBron James in Cleveland. And basically, he said that he went to bed. Here's the quote. This is a great quote, Robin. Quote, just imagine how freaked out you'd be if you saw friggin' 5 bed bugs just sitting on your pillow. I woke up itching and I'm looking around and I'm like, are you serious right now? It was 3 a.m. and I was so tired at that point. So poor Kyrie had to go sleep on the couch for 3 hours. And you can imagine a gentleman that's 6'4", 6'5", probably not the best design for couches and couch sleep. And basically the hotel chain said that they've had some issues back in 2013, but they tried to pawn it off on the fact that luggage and different things could bring the bed bugs into the hotel, so that might not have been the root cause. My opinion, perhaps it was just some overzealous Thunder fans who happened to be in the area and kind of knew where Kyrie was sleeping.
That's probably what it was. They have them in this jar. They just wait.
And the Cavaliers were crushed by the Thunder in that game, so it worked out well for the home team. A lot of people are going to point to Oklahoma City because it's a small market, but I'm a big defender of small markets because we got the Kings right here in Sacramento, and we represent that as well. Don't blame the hotel chain. Probably came in on the luggage, but I do feel bad for Kyrie. I personally have not experienced bed bugs, but I can't imagine the horror of waking up to that.
Oh, no, I can't. I'm itching now.
Exactly. I feel like
It's a funny thing. I grew up in the country, and most things don't bother me. But I'll tell you, one thing will get to me. I can't tolerate a flea of any kind. You know, I came, I had those sand fleas. I walked in my living room one time, and I found a sand flea on my leg. The next they saw me, I was standing on the kitchen table with my skirts up, screaming like a little girl. That house didn't quit glowing for a week and a half after I quit bombing it. I don't know what I used on it, but there's no sand fleas around it. Fleas, I can't handle that.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, we had a friend of ours say, hey, here's a couch.
Yeah.
So they gave us a couch. This was years ago. Gave us a couch. Oh, here, have this couch. And oh, great, nice, everything. It was just almost like new. Yeah, you can have this couch.
That's why they
I
wanted
don't
to give
think
it
they
to
really
you.
meant to, but they gave it to us, and everything's fine. And I had, at that time, a white German Shepherd.
so you could just see them.
By the next day, it was a black and white German Shepherd. And we looked and we found them, and we drug that thing back outside, and I'm going to tell you, they were in there by the bundles. It was unbelievable. And I itched for a week.
Yeah, whether there was anything there or not.
Yeah, and the landlord wouldn't let me torch the place. He goes, well, we probably don't have to go that far. But man, oh man, those things are nasty. Just gives me the itches thinking about it.
Yeah, it really does. And you just don't hear that associated with the NBA. You'd think maybe like a minor league ball team would be staying in a hotel that would be doing
Exactly.
that. Not professionals who probably chartered their own jet to fly down there.
Yeah, that'll teach them to stay at Motel 6. I mean,
They'll keep the light on for you, though.
that's right. You can see them bed bugs.
A couple more quick hits for you here. 49er fans, I know there's a lot up here in the foothills. Trent Baalke, the general manager, announced today that they will be bringing Colin Kaepernick back for next season, and that means it's going to be an $11.9 million base salary, and it becomes fully guaranteed on April 1st. This was announced today at the NFL Scouting Combine. Now, I know a whole lot of 49er faithful. I can't call myself a fan per se, but I have a lot of friends who are, and I don't know if they're celebrating or upset right now because Blaine Gabbert got him 3 wins and Cap only got him 2 last year. So now they've got a little bit of a controversy. I don't know who they go with.
Who knows? Maybe his medical woes is over, and they're he's really ready to play again.
He's talking to you.
5 minutes. So we got 5 minutes. What else you got?
Oh, sure, yeah.
We don't want to be real obvious or anything, right, folks?
Well, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. As you mentioned, the big deal is he's had 3 surgeries, left shoulder, right thumb, and left knee, which is going to affect any player's ability. But the key question is they always get down to that prototype quarterback, kind of a run first, throw second, although he's changed that over the past few years. Is that still an effective way to win in the NFL, or have offenses caught up to it? A lot of fans also worry about how Chip Kelly's going to run the offense, because don't forget, he did not leave Philadelphia under the best circumstances, and not sure if that was the best hire. And judging from the peanut gallery, it looks like it was not the best hire, and I'm not sure he's the right guy to fix this. The York family has a lot of work to do. I know this isn't an opinion show. I'm just telling you what I've heard from a lot of fans of the team.
Well, personally, I like a quarterback that likes to run. I think that's great. I mean, didn't we have one in the Super Bowl that loves to run? Unfortunately, he was pretty well contained. I
Right.
mean, didn't Newton isn't he one of those guys?
Yeah.
They shut him down pretty good. I'd love to see Kaepernick do it again.
Yeah, and I think he has every chance. I mean, we're talking about a 28-year-old.
Yeah. Oh,
And he's still got a lot of good years left in him. It's such an interesting way that the NFL carousel turns around. 3 years ago, Colin Kaepernick and RG3 are gracing the covers of every magazine across the country. RG3, Robert Griffin III, who's former Redskin quarterback, he's a man without a home at this point.
Yep.
And now Cap's been kind of cast out by the fans. They want Gabbert, but I don't know if Blaine Gabbert's a long-term solution either. It's a bit messy down there.
Yeah.
And probably gives Raider fans a little more optimism, because maybe for the first time in a while they'll have a team that's a little better than San Francisco on a year-to-year basis. I don't know. That's a rarity, right?
I'm a Raider fan. I'm not afraid to tell us. We had a good run this last year after how many years? It's good to be at least kind of a winning team.
Well, and I guess the last point, I'm not sure when this airs, but is this going to be airing?
Yeah, this is planned to air on Friday night at 10 p.m. on Wave TV, ACT, Channel 20 is what it is, Wave TV on Channel 20. It's a cable, and then hopefully by next Wednesday, the following Wednesday, it will be uploaded to YouTube.
Okay.
So you'll be able to go to YouTube, ACTV.
Get it all set up.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I think if you go to the Facebook, it'll help you get to that spot, but we're working on it. And it'll be on our ending credits. We hope also that it'll show it. But again, this is our first show, so we're going to start, adding everything so everybody can be dialed in. So.
Well, I just don't want to timestamp anything, but good job, Coach Lee and company, I'm assuming. Well done. Advancing in the SJS playoffs.
All
Division
right.
III basketball. Go boys.
There's the plug.
And we know for sure that the Placer Hillman ladies advanced yesterday in Division IV.
Perfect.
Taking care of Livingston. So, an athletic powerhouse Placer has built up here. I knew about him when I went to Oakmont. I came up here and played as a kid on football at the field, and now, it's an interesting town, and I love the passion up here. Really, the entire foothills. It doesn't get much better than the support that they have for high school athletics. I think Sacramento, as a region, benefits a little bit from not having big-time sports, and I'm not trying to disparage Sac State, but we don't have a Division I program that year, so people do gravitate a lot more towards high school football, and the coverage has been great. Ike Dodson is a key to how I get ready for my games, I must tell you. He's an excellent writer, and I'm proud to have had him on as a guest many times.
Ike is amazing.
He really is.
He's an amazing talent. He really is.
Real quick, K-High airs the Sharks and the Kings.
And don't forget, April 4th, Monday night, Oakland A's baseball back for its 49th season on K-High against the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah. So again, we might be a small town. We got
a big heart.
We might not be the big channels, but guess what? We accomplish a lot, and we're so happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to be here with you. I think what you guys are doing here are great. I was excited when you told me about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always had a face for radio. Now we'll get to test it on TV.
Yeah, well, when we approached ACTV, they looked at us and go, "You guys sure you don't want to just stay on radio? Maybe do an hour show rather than come here?"
Well, you got Traveler to take his hat off. That's a start.
Yeah. Well, never mind. I want to get into it.
Well,
I have learned something though here.
Fortunately, the glare keeps his face out of the camera.
Well, because I've learned something here tonight already. I got to quit slumping and slouching so damn much. I need to.
That's 'cause
sit
you're
up
old,
straight.
you know.
Oh, I'm old. Okay, never
I
mind.
think all of us are tempted to watch ourselves in the monitor over there.
Well, I'm trying.
Staying focused on
Hi,
Robin.
Mom.
I'm trying not to. I think I mentioned last time that Carol Burnett used to put screen and lens with stockings. She needed burlap for me. So.
Yeah.
Don't forget to put some money in the hat when you're done.
All right. Well, we're done here.
All right.
We're going to sign off. Casey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Rich Hanner. Thank you so
Robin.
much.
A lot of fun.
K-High
Thank
Radio, Auburn Journal newspaper.
We're going to all get together.
Forget about
and
him.
Boo-hum-ba-ya,
Thank you to the staff and crew of ACTV. And again, go to facebook.com/ACTV20 and dial in and come watch us.
And donate some money. Put some money in the hat, boys.
Do you take a check? Adios. Thank you from the Newcastle TV Show.